For the first time in more than 5.5 years, we finally tonight have a few new answers to a question that has loomed over Indiana and over the town of Delphi. Who killed Abby Williams and Libby Jones?
The end of the bridge you got to go through. Now, I believe that the bodies were found about 50.
Born from a family's grief and determination. In April of 2020, Army soldier Vanessa Guillen went missing while stationed at one of the largest military installations.
That little music in the background that goes, "Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious."
Right.
Knew about it or was there. He's as guilty as the person who committed it.
Chilling details in the arrest of a suspected serial killer caught before he could strike again.
Him, they dropped the ball, man. Like they said, he went AWOL, and that he was a deserter, and nobody went to look for him.
Today is not a day to celebrate, but the arrest of Richard M. Allen of Delphi on 2 counts of murder.
Like I said, we're going back. We were asked last time to kind of talk about the food, the grub truck video, and kind of give our perspective of it. The press release from the police department, it indicated that they're still trying to put pieces together from that night. Does that worry you at any point or at any bit that they're still trying to put those pieces together?
It's been over 5 weeks since little Kaylee Anthony vanished. Her mother, Casey, has been arrested for lying to police. She's being held without bail.
Hey, greetings from the year 3000. It still sucks. This is Philip J. Fry, and you're listening to The Drunken Turkey Show, your one stop for this sort of thing. Hit that button, like and subscribe. You know what to do, just like every other podcast.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to The Drunk Turkey Show. I'm your host, Daniel J. Alongside with me is Jaime and Big Blue. Big Blue made it just in the nick of time.
Again.
He was here. He was here earlier, and as soon as we hit live, he
was gone.
We can almost guarantee that that's going to happen more often than not. I want to thank everybody in the live chat that's with us. Jaime, how you doing, man? Are you drinking with us tonight?
Yeah, man, I'm drinking Dr. Pepper with some bird dog.
Nice, man. Nice. I am too, man. I decided I wanted to. I'm almost done. I'm taking out the final bits of the Crown Royal Salty Caramel. Crown, you need to sponsor me, yo. That way,
or bird dog.
Yeah. Either way, man. They're the competition for each other, right?
Yeah.
I'm having it with some Coca-Cola in my boot.
That's boot.
In my that whatever you just said. Hope everybody's having a great time. Thank you, all the 207 of you guys already in here. Appreciate you guys. So how was your weekend, Jaime, before we start?
It was good, man. I'll be honest, man. I did a lot of eating. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh yeah, where'd you go eat at?
I ate at this Mexican restaurant. I ate like fajita trio. So it was like fajitas and shrimp, and it was pretty much everything you could probably think of.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, was it good?
It was delicious, man. Good-licious.
Damn. I need to try this out. Did you do any drinking this weekend?
Yeah, I went to the bar. I drank this new beer that they had there. I can't remember what it's called, man, but it was like that. Remember that metal, the one, that drink we had last time on the taste off that had it was like medic something shit.
Oh yeah. The hemp. It was a hemp beer, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it tasted like that. So I was like, oh man, it was like $12 too.
Yeah, dude, they can be pricey. Man, everything's pricey right now, man.
Yeah.
I went and bought a 12-pack of sodas and it cost like $10. I said, jeez.
Yeah.
Did Daniel freeze up or
what?
No,
it's just you, I guess.
Yeah, I think he froze because he's not moving. Like I'm talking. I think
it's in your song, Blue.
Yeah, Blue. I think it's on you,
It's
buddy.
on my side.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What's it called?
We're gonna be getting Blue into the studio here pretty
Yeah,
soon.
man. Oh yeah.
It is what it is. Blue, but can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Well, then that's all. You look fine. You're moving. We can see you. So, yeah, we've seen the peace sign like 5 times. I was wondering
Yeah.
what was going on there, man.
It's because like you, when I think I first logged in, you had logged me in too, and I locked myself out, and I was like trying to get back in, and the computer just.
Well, if it gives you any problems, man, just we'll send you the link and get in on your phone. Okay.
All right.
So we're gonna start off today's show with stuff that we find in the news that we find relevant, and the first thing is this is from ABC 11. North Carolina State University student found passed away at private residence, identified. The crazy thing about this story is this is the 9th student to pass away this year.
Damn.
I mean, it's not even the end of February, and 9 students from NC State have passed away.
What the hell's going on?
I have no idea. On Friday, the student was identified as 21-year-old Patrick Thomas Sullivan. An NC State representative said Thursday that the student was found on an off-campus private residence, not on campus. According to NC State, deputies said that the student's death appeared to be accidental. The investigation is ongoing. A Wake County Sheriff's Office said Friday that an official cause of death will not be released until after the medical examiner's report is complete. The student's passing is the 9th since the start of the school year, and happened just days after an undergraduate student was found passed from an apparent where they took their own life on campus.
Damn. That's crazy.
So apparently there's been 5 passings this semester, this school year, that where students had taken their own life. That is beyond insane to me, guys. What do you think?
Yeah, man. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there with, some mental issues, that need help, and sometimes they can't get it or they don't know who to talk to. But on the other hand, like there's also a lot of drugs out there too.
Right.
Right now the one with the major one right now is fentanyl, right?
Right.
It's being smuggled in through Mexico and into the States. I mean, even here in my border town, you hear about it, about people overdosing on small doses, like super small doses. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't take much for it.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching, I can't remember what other news article it was, and there was another one where there was a guy who is paralyzed because he was at a frat party. He was a freshman, and they filled him up with booze. And when they did that, he passed out. They picked him up, and he fell on his head. And they picked him up again. They dropped him, and they dropped him again, and they left him on the ground. And he ended up, he's blind, in a wheelchair, and he can't speak. It's super sad. I was watching that earlier today, and it was just like he was part of a fraternity, and what ended up happening was they gave him a bottle of vodka, like in a 2-liter jug, like a Coke jug.
Yeah.
And they gave it to him, and they had him. They told him that he had to drink it the entire night, and in the process of him drinking this alcohol, they also had him do a beer bong, I think like twice or once. But they had it all on camera.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so because it was all done in one of the like the fraternity house, and you can see he had like passed out, and they're just messing with him, and it was just like a joke. You know what I'm saying? And,
yeah.
For me, it's senseless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a lack of compassion, and common sense too.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. the and I'm gonna pull this out. There's an ad on here that's inappropriate. I'll show you guys later. There was another article that I wanted to read, but there's an inappropriate ad on the side that I just saw that would have gotten us demonetized pretty quickly. Dang it, they almost got me.
Did you did y'all see that other video of the? I wanted to get your thoughts about it because I saw it. Was it Dave? I think it was yesterday. Day for yesterday, either one. But the video of the kid, the 17-year-old that attacked the teacher over the Nintendo Switch.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So what do you think about that? Like, what are your thoughts? Like, do you think he's gonna get jail time? They're gonna charge as an adult?
Well, there's a lot of conversation going on around that because apparently, like you said, he was, he had a learning disability.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have the mental capacity as an adult?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Now, I think he should be responsible for his crimes and whatnot. But how do you charge somebody who has the mental capacity of a child? I think you'd have to go, with rules that were similar to a child. What do you think?
Well, I think I see this kind of injuries all the time, man. I see them all the time, and sometimes when it's really bad, they'll send them to like one of the schools where it's for only special needs children, and they might. I don't think they'll charge him because he, like I said, he's not mentally capable to understanding what he did was wrong. But I think they move him school sometimes, and they put him under more supervision. They put like 2 helpers instead of just 1.
Mm-hmm.
And because unfortunately, it's sad, but when they age out of high school like that, and then the parents can't take care of them no more, they send them to like the state hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And I kid you not, one night I was working, man, and employee after employee kept coming in, and I was like, "What the heck happened?" And we were just trying to stop one person. Sent in 14 people to my work that night, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because like I haven't even heard anything about the condition of the teacher. I don't know if y'all heard anything.
I did. I think one of her children had came out and stated that she is home and recovering.
It's bad enough right now as it is. A lot of teachers don't want to teach. They don't want to do this job anymore because it kind of seems like, not in this situation, but in other situations, like they lost all authority.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what they feel. They feel almost neglected by the school system.
No, I think you're absolutely right, man. And it's one of those situations where, like, especially in today's society, like the school is, they're kind of in that situation where they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. If they punish the child, they're seen as, punishing somebody who, has mental health or disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
And if not, then you're also seen as somebody who's, letting somebody get away with something that happened horrible to the teacher. You know what I mean? They're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
No, yeah, for sure.
Let me tell you this story, man. It's a real hard place because I have a lot of friends that have to extern at the state hospital or work at the state hospital. And I had a friend of mine who was just doing her internship. She was walking down the hall, and the girl that passed her just snapped, grabbed her by the head, slammed her into the wall. And you can't defend yourself. If you defend yourself, you go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're protected by a law that they're mentally incapable of knowing what they're doing. So pretty much there, you have your guard up and never let your guard down because it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, like, there's other situations too where, I mean, I seen videos where even the teachers, like, they defend themselves from other students or a couple of students, and they get fired and whatnot,
Yeah.
or they get sued.
I sent them the chat, Dan. I wanted to see if we can show that one about the fentanyl.
Oh man, there's a lot in the chat, bro.
No, I
You're
sent
not
that to you
on.
in the messenger.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. We're over here. Let me see.
Yeah, that happened a while back, but it's crazy how that happened to that cop.
Yeah, give me a second. Let me pull it over here.
I'll be honest, Blue. I'll be honest, man. This is the longest we ever had you continuously.
Yeah, there's a good chance you're not gonna make it
Yeah.
too far.
Well, I did a few things. I cleared out my computer a little bit more, and I
All
moved
that
my
porn.
router about 15 feet closer to me. So, and I put it up high. I bought a pedestal from Amazon, and I put it like 10 feet in
Nice.
the air so it can get more surrounding area. So hopefully it works.
That's good, man. Hopefully, you stay with us. I'm trying to send myself this dang picture real quick so that I can pull it up for everybody in a minute.
Oh, is this the one where he touches that stuff?
Yeah, he touched the
Yeah,
fentanyl, and it gave him cardiac arrest.
yeah, man. That's some crazy stuff that you can't even touch it, and you let alone people are shooting this things. Shooting it up. You know what I mean? Or taking it.
Yeah.
Luckily, they had the I think the Narcan to bring him back. But yeah, man.
Imagine if they didn't have that. That's crazy, man. It's sad, I mean, especially because, like, you remember that situation we had here in my town, right, Danny?
Yeah.
4 people. Well, I believe it was 3 people passed away at a party when they took some sort of substances that were laced with fentanyl, and it was 4 of them, and one of them survived, but the other 3 passed away, including one of my buddy's mom.
Yeah.
That was a real, it was a
Eye-opening.
real eye-opening wake-up call. To believe that this stuff, even by touching it, can kill you.
Yeah, dude. It's deadly stuff, man. It is extremely deadly stuff. I I don't understand why it's being utilized. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Like it doesn't make any sense. It's
Oh, for sure.
I don't get it. I don't get it. But so we've got some news that's come out over the weekend about Bryan Kohberger and his past. A couple of things that we found kind of dig, a little deeper into who he is and what makes Bryan Kohberger, who he is as a guy and whatnot. Let's see. Let me bring this up. So the first thing I wanted to bring up is this is from Inside Edition. It says Bryan Kohberger completed high school online for reasons that remain unclear. Basically, long story short, Dana told the Idaho Statesman that the 20-year-old PhD student transitioned to online learning after spending his sophomore and junior year in a technical program offered by a school district. We have a super chat. Somebody's buying us a pint. Thank you. $5 super chat from Queen of the People. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. If you guys want to donate to us or support us, we take super chats. There's the Cash App down there, Cash App sign Drunk Turkey Show. Also, the beanies for the merch is at drunkturkeyshow.com. Well, anywho, back to this. It says here, administrators will not say whether Kohberger or school administrators made the decision to remove Kohberger from in-person learning. So basically, he was removed from in-person learning and put into only, behind a computer screen, only going in there for computers. Now, she says she could not speak on why Kohberger left the program, but said that student could choose to leave or be asked to leave due to disciplinary action. And the fact that this person said that leads me to believe that that's probably what it was. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that they would have brought that up unless that was the case. And so it appears that this guy had some disciplinary issues going back to high school. He was, maybe perhaps, a lot of people paint this guy as being, I guess, like an incel. And, this guy seems like a disciplinary action kind of guy, a bully, not so much the incel type. What do you think, Jaime?
No, yeah, for sure, man. I mean, there's always those cases that you hear about. It's like where this guy always gets in trouble but never gets fired, right, for whatever job he's doing, and then it turns out that he does something even worse, to a certain person, and then they're like, "Well, why didn't y'all do this? Get rid of him." I think this is the same thing that was happening here. I'm surprised it didn't happen within the school system itself.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Big Blue? You're starting to see a pattern here? I mean, it's fairly obvious he got into some heavy drugs, and we're going to actually talk about that here in a second. And that may have played a role into his behavior change. But, are we? Do you feel that this is like a, painting starting to get cleared up and painting a picture of who Kohberger is? You're muted, Big Blue. But before you unmute yourself, I'm going to say we have Queen Net with $2. Cheers. Cheers. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. And it's a Crime and Shame Kaylee with $6.99 Canuck bucks. Here with some here for another drink. Have another one on me. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you now, Big Blue.
Yeah, I think it was probably around that time when he started using drugs when he was younger. So he probably started having some issues. Remember, we spoke to his friend saying that she stopped hanging around with him around a certain time, probably because he stopped going to school because of the drug issues.
Yeah.
We sent him to rehab and all that stuff. So.
Well, I mean, speaking of, drug issues, this was reported by, I can never say it. I think it's just Meow, Meaw. I don't know. This says here, Ashley Flugel, Bryan Kohberger's rumored gay girlfriend, passed from heroin OD in 2018, claim sources. So we'll read this article and then we'll discuss it. There's a picture within Ashley's Instagram that has somebody that looks kind of similar to Bryan, and we'll look at that. So it says here, and that's not really any part of importance. Okay, here we go. So it goes here. Initially, it was suggested that Bryan Kohberger was a kind of a loner, but as per a new report, that wasn't the case. It has been said that he was actually quite close to one of his classmates named Ashley Flugel. A Twitter account also shared a very conflicting statement asserting that Flugel was Kohberger's only girlfriend, but was gay. And so this is the Twitter account, Jez, who was Ashley Flugel. Flugel was Kohberger's friend from high school, the Idaho Statesman reported, which also stated the two used to take heroin together. But in 2017-2018, she faced numerous drug charges, which demanded she appear in court. However, May 18th, before the 23-year-old could make her court appearance, she was found passed inside a home in the 1200 block of Lindsay Lane in Effort Trust Hill Township. It was said that she passed due to an accidental overdose, as per young woman's obituary. She graduated from Pleasantville Valley High School in Broadsheadville and was a member of Our Lady Queen of Peace Catholic Church in Gilbert. Her Instagram bio described her as very fragile, but never weak. Beauty isn't perfection. And some other posts. This is one of her posts that I guess made some lead to believe that she was homosexual.
But I mean, why does that affect anything? I mean, why even bring that up, right?
I think they're just trying to bring up the fact that he had a girlfriend, but the people that he did have friends with or was able to associate were those that were also addicted to narcotics. I think there was a report that stated that two of his friends had passed away from ODs in his life prior. Yeah, there goes Blue. You jinxed him.
I know.
And so, like I said, it's not anything of too much of importance as far as that goes. But talks about, he wasn't, he may have had a girlfriend, at one point. And think that's been rumored to be him right here.
Man, he looks photoshopped in there. I'm gonna lie.
Dude, he looks like a young Jamie Kennedy.
Oh, the from Malibu.
Yeah. Yeah. But younger than that. But yeah, no, that's the guy. Let's see what else it came out. So yeah,
and she passed in 2018, right? You said
the girlfriend passed away in 2018. Yes.
Damn. And this drug problem, man, the United States has. Well, not even just the United States, but a lot of places. You know what I mean? It's it gets to a point where like when you have kids, like you don't know what they're doing out of your house. It's scary, man, that you can get that phone call, and it's hella scary.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right. It's when we were young, we used to go out, right? We thought, ain't nothing gonna happen to us, and
go out party.
We were confident in the fact that we were okay. But hell, man, if our parents knew,
yeah, I mean, as far as how it was when I was younger. I mean, luckily I never got into any of those, situations with drugs. Beer was a different thing, and liquor.
I'm talking about the times we were illegally street racing down the streets of Mexico.
Don't you dare dox us here.
Yeah, it's in Mexico, and it happened several years ago.
What happens in Mexico stays in Mexico.
Yeah, man. You don't want to know any of my Mexico stories, man. You have some crazy ones.
That's on the members only.
Yeah,
that's a members only. That is a members only. You know it.
I will let y'all know about this one though. This is a crazy one. So one night we went to go drink, and it was at one of the new clubs across the street from my amigos. I can't remember the name of it. And we were all drinking, and people get dumb and they get in fights, but it was getting crowded, and some band was going to play at Corona Club, which most people don't know what Corona Club. It's a club that comes out in Desperado. It's the one where he dances and kills everybody in the bar. So we went to that club, and my friend called us all panicking, trying to find us, because at the table we were at, somebody got in a fight behind us, and somebody pulled out a gun and shot the guy, but it went through him, and it got the guy at the table in the head, and he perished.
What the hell, bro?
He thought it was one of us. I was like, "Damn, that's crazy," because we were just there like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's it wasn't meant to be, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this stuff happened to us too a couple of times. I mean, we went out to Mexico, and we ended up deciding not to go to the certain place, right? And then we find out like the following day there was they shut up the club and shit, It's crazy, right? Like, I mean, it happened to me and Daniel J. It happened to us last time, a couple of years ago, with the situation in Las Vegas. Remember Las Vegas? We're actually planning on going there. Remember?
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened that we ended up just, we're gonna wait on it and let's see what the hell happens later on this year. And then the big shooting, the mass shooting happened. And we're like, what the hell? Remember we were talking about it last time?
Yeah. You're right, dude. We were planning on going sometime around that time of the year, because we've done some. Damn, there goes Blue again. We've done some pretty crazy trips. We went to Lake Tahoe. We went to Vegas. We've gone to Colorado. So we've done some traveling, and it's insane. Like another one. I mean, it has nothing to do with anything like that. But me and my wife, we went to. We were in the Kentucky area looking at land in Kentucky and Nashville, and we left. And like 2 weeks later, like 4 tornadoes struck that area where we were traveling through. It's insane.
That's scary.
So I was sent this though by one of our viewers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how accurate or how real or whatnot, but I thought I'd bring it up. It says ratemyprofessors.com. And overall quality based on 1 rating, Bryan Kohberger, Criminal Justice Department at Washington State University, 1 of 5. Would not take again. Level of difficulty 5. I don't know if there's some kind of credibility. I'll just click that here in a second, see if it asks me questions or whatnot. Tough grader. Beware of pop quizzes. Accessible outside of class. Okay, so it says quality 1, awful. For credit, yes. Mandatory grade, withdrawal and drop. Textbook, yes. It says dude was the worst. So, first thing I had noticed was the date, December 31st, 2022. I wonder if this is the date that this person took it, then I think it's fishy. What do you think?
What was the date?
December 31st, 2022. I think he got arrested the day before.
Yeah, that is real weird.
Yeah, let me see. I just want to see what happens if I well, who's a professor? Difficulty, very hard. I just want to see what happens if I plug in on this. No. Yes. I'll find out. Receive the A+, tough grader, get ready. I gotta join this. All right, I'm not gonna join, but I was just curious if anybody can just put a rating on anyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like Yelp.
Yeah, like if that ends up being the case, though, it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But man, we're pretty much in the no information time when it comes to the Kohberger case. Do you guys have anything else that's interested or that's gotten you? What do you call it? Yes, this is. Hold on, I saw this. Ciudad Acuña near Del Rio. That is an area we may or may not have visited.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, what's that, Big Blue?
I said there's a lot of stories in that Acuña that that stay in Acuña, you know, like kind of.
Yeah, definitely. I did see the fact that closing arguments are gonna come up on the Alec Murdoch.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up, man. What do y'all think about the bombshell evidence that they brought up about the 2 shooters?
Oh man, I saw the way the jurors looked, and I don't know, man. It looks like it's gonna be a hung jury.
You think they're hung up?
Yeah, man, I really do think so.
What about you, Big Blue? What are you thinking? Did you see it?
I did not see the closing arguments, so I haven't seen that.
You know what? I'll bring it up and then we'll react to it. That way we get your full like response. Just don't get too crazy.
I was gonna ask y'all what you also thought about, you know, the house being demolished for the Idaho Ford house being demolished.
Yeah, it got donated right to the school, and the school decided to take it down. Or am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Some of that nature. They're gonna make something there.
Like a memorial? Was that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. I don't know how true it is, but that's what I heard. That they were going to. I heard they were going to demolish it. I don't know what they're going to do with it as far as making a memorial there or somewhere else. You think it's the right thing to do?
Oh man, it's. I think it's at this point it's up to the parents. You know, I think they should leave it up to the parents to decide if they want to make that into a memorial. If I was in that position, I don't think I would. I don't think I'll be comfortable, you know, especially like if it happened in the town that I lived in, you know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, obviously she wasn't from there. Like, no, she didn't. Like the parents were there and whatever, but like it's just a reminder, kind of.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that one, definitely.
But I think the house it brings back too many bad memories. So if they just demolish it and build like the little memorial thing, I think it's better for me.
Yeah.
Like the one that I keep hearing here that's giving issues here in Texas is the school in Uvalde.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming up to the 1 year anniversary,
Yeah.
and they haven't demolished it yet. They haven't. I guess I was talking to a friend of mine. They said they found a lot where they're gonna build a new school. And
Yeah. Yeah.
now there's an uproar because it's not in the same area, so a lot of the lower income people are gonna have to drive to take their kids to school across town, and they don't want that now.
Well, I don't know how big of the uproar. I mean, Uvalde's not a big place. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
know, but
I mean,
that's
there's always going to be those people that it's inconvenient for them. You know what I mean?
yeah.
No matter what. But I also, I don't know if you know, but I think HEB put up a couple of mil. I don't know if you heard about that. I think they put like $2 million or something. They donated to make a new school for the people, for the elementaries, to make another elementary school in Uvalde.
Yeah, yeah, and they also did they did get the property donated too, so they have the funds. It's there. They're trying to get it approved by the city that that's where they want to build it now.
Yeah. I mean, when they come, look, when they also did the same thing with remember Jeffrey Dahmer, his apartment, all the apartment complex got demolished. Whenever he got busted, they I guess the state bought it and they demolished it. And it also had, I mean, it was a big hazard too, so I wouldn't blame him. But I'm not sure if they made a memorial for the victims. I'm not sure if they did that. I know they were gonna make a park there, but I don't think they ever got to the point of making a park.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I find that's a little bit like disgraceful, and when it comes to like why it should be demolished, is you have people that are showing up at the residence and doing like TikToks in front of it and like dancing. I understand. Some folks were out there reporting, trying to get information, and especially early on in the investigation, White Elantra was out there. Nobody knew where it was at. Getting boots on the ground, and then to go back there and TikTok around there. Now, I wouldn't have thought it would have been a bad thing had, let's just say, they decided to knock it down and then build another, residence or something, or even if they would have torn it up in the inside and then remodeled it. Would you have thought that would have been the bad move?
It just, like I said before, man, it just depends. Everybody has their own opinion at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Some people think that'll be the best bet, and some people won't.
Right.
But I think at this point, I would ask the parents, because at the end of the day, it's gonna be, is their kids, is their loved one that passed away in there.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. I agree. But the other thing is, like, I don't know. I wouldn't have been offended myself had they not torn it down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get why they did it. And it's good for them. I hope they get compensated in some form or fashion, because it's not the business, the property owner's fault that this happened. You know what I'm saying? And that's a huge financial loss. You know what I'm saying? Now, I think they'll probably, because they use the word donate and whatnot, they'll probably be, get some tax incentives for it. But I'm gonna pull this up real quick.
Now that we have Blue back.
Now that Blue is
brings up a video, my thing can't handle it, man. It throws me out.
Well, Big Blue, you might need Little Blue if you think you can handle a little bit of video. All right, so let's. I'm gonna mute yourself. We'll watch this and then we'll talk about
it. The pellets coming out of here now would have definitely begun to spread, and you would have seen pellets all across the side of his left side of his face, which you didn't. And then finally, if you look at this angle here again, imagine door here, gun in this thing, then even if, and I think there's no evidence of it, but even if the shot could go through Paul's head and create an exit pathway, then that would project whatever pellets and bone matter that way. Whereas if you move the shooter to the other side and we shoot into Paul downward this way, then all of this material comes back at the shooter, but also it's going this way into that upper corner, which is where we see the pellet defects and the heavy blood and the hair.
I was going to. Okay, you'll take a seat. That'd be great. Thank you. Pay that down. Mr. Palmbach, let's talk a little bit about the reconstruction of murder of Maggie Murdoch. Did you assess the crime scene as it relates to her?
I did.
And what your observations?
Well, generally, there's a couple really key observations. One, all of her wounds were facing the direction of the shooter. So at all times during this, her shooting, she's facing the shooter. Now, she is moving for sure. There is some degree of movement, from where the initial shooting most likely occurred, which is, we can't give you an accurate estimation for that. We can give you a really good estimation where it ended, and that's where we find her. And I'll talk about which wounds were associated with that in a minute. But you have her facing the attacker the entire time. At no point did she turn or blade or anything other than face him, and moved a little bit in the area, although not much. And then the shooter, based on the overall distribution of the shell casings, also moved, again, somewhat, moving toward where the ultimate location where we find Maggie.
I'm going to show you two photos. Defense Exhibit 163 and 164, and ask if you relied upon those.
I did.
Defense Exhibit 163 and 64 in evidence at this time.
Admit it.
If you don't mind pulling out 163, Doug. Thank you. And jury's seen this, but just give us an overview of what this is.
Well, so Maggie is underneath the blanket there, and she's in a face down position there.
Just leave it like that.
Her head is more toward us, and her feet are pointing more toward, I think what's been identified as a doghouse.
Right.
You'll see placards in the foreground, 3 and 4, which are two of the blackout 300 casings. You'll see a placard 12, which is over on the grass, more in alignment. We're heading more toward Maggie's head area. And that was a large piece of what appears to be brain-like material. And while you can't see the numbering, there are additional placards to the left, immediately to the left side. Well, they're on Maggie's right side, but as we view the photograph, they're to the left of where she's currently located. So this just gives us some general orientation of approximate locations of the shooter, and certainly where at least the fatal shot to Maggie was taken.
So this is a scene recreator and weapons expert, blood expert, the whole 9 yards, right? And so he's recreating or talking about the scene of Maggie. You can see Alex shaking, looking down. He's. Do you think that's real, guys, or do you think that's an act job?
Oh man, the only person who would be able to tell is like a body language expert, but I wouldn't be able to tell. Not by just body language, but like when he went on testimony and testified, he was his body language was a little bit different. You know what I mean? That he was more calm. As a matter of fact, I thought he was a lot more calm and collected through his testimony. And to see him this like kind of jittery, if you can say, while he's not on the stand, it's just it's way different. I thought he would act like this while he's actually taking the testimony.
Yeah, no, I agree. Steeler fan comes in, put a 1 in the live chat if you think that this is sincere and real. Put a 2 if you think it's fake. Thank you, Steelers fan.
I think it's fake because when you see him like listening, he's just like looking at his water bottle, just like reading the label, seeing what's in it. It just seems weird to me.
Mm-hmm. And so, well, let's listen in a little bit longer, and then we'll talk about what they say. I'll just mute everybody.
I'm showing you defense exhibit 149. And the other two we'd move to those be under seal and 149 under seal. Is this rely upon this and reaching your conclusions?
I did.
Your Honor, we move, excuse me, exhibit 194, not 149. 194 in the evidence under seal at this time.
No objection.
And if you don't mind pulling up, Doug, well, before I do that, let's go to 164, and which is a closer up area around the side by side, as they call it. What's the significance of this photo?
Again, I think this is an area in which Maggie passed by during this incident. It's also an area that's being highlighted now where what appears to be her a damaged loop bearing, which is consistent in shape and design and structure to the one that's still in her right ear. This one would have come out of her left ear at the time of that impact, shot to her left ear, and more or less just been blown over destruction.
And the jury has seen the autopsy photo of the injury to her left ear. Is this do you believe this earring is a byproduct of that injury?
I do.
Okay. And then just briefly, I'm gonna pull up 194 and ask if you can just generally, I think you were hair on her body. What significance is that? And if you'll blow up her legs.
Right.
Doug, please.
So, when you find a body, you always have to wonder, is that really the position that the body remained in? Or, through medical, maybe the defendant or the accused or the shooter did something to the body. More likely in a medical evaluation, they did something to it. We always just want to know, are we looking at it in the right orientation? Did somebody flip it over and whatnot? And so I think it was valuable in this case to have seen that injury in the back of her head, the massive amount of hair that came off of that. And then if you look close up on the back of her legs, you'll see just dozens and dozens of hairs laying on top of her legs, which would be a good indicator that she didn't get moved. We can count on this being the final position, unaltered position of Maggie.
Doug, can you go back to 163? Oh, you mentioned marker 12 a moment ago in 163, and again, what do you understand 12 to be?
It's physiological material. I mean, it looks structurally like brain material, but it's tissue.
In your opinion, would the shooter of Maggie have any blood spatter, blood, biological material on him or her?
I think it's possible. I think it's possible because as we're seeing here, that you have a projection of brain material backwards toward the direction of where the shooter would have been located. We also have a couple of the shots, the left thigh shot and the abdomen shot, which have been identified as having stippling around them. By virtue of being stippling, that does make it an intermediate distance, and that's going to move the shooter in anywhere from, I would agree, I think Dr. Ryan said a foot to 3 feet is probably a good approximation.
Okay. Mr. Palmbach, do you have an opinion based upon more probably than not, whether there was one or two shooters who murdered Maggie and Paul on the night of June 7th?
I do have an opinion on that.
And what's your opinion?
My opinion is the totality of the evidence is more suggestive of a two-shooter scenario.
And please explain the basis of your opinion.
Okay. So
I'm going to let him explain, but this guy who's an expert says that he believes that there's two shooters.
Mm-hmm.
Does that surprise y'all, or do y'all think, did that not catch y'all off guard?
Well, I mean, he did try to hire someone. Remember that time?
Yep.
And that didn't go as planned.
Right.
So there's that. So the possibility was always there, but I don't know. I don't remember seeing where he was talking about also like the height from what it was shot from.
Right.
So it could be. I'm not really sure how tall Alex Murdoch is, but if anybody was shorter or taller, it would be a different trajectory. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's 6'4".
He's a big dude. So
yeah, he's a big guy.
So if someone was like 5'10", 10, there'll be a difference in trajectory. You know what I mean? Depending on what kind of weapon they're using.
Right, right. What about you, Blue? What do you think about this startling bombshell evidence up to this point? He hasn't explained why yet, but do you think that because there's possibly two shooters here that somehow makes Alex innocent?
No, because he could be the other shooter if there is two shooters.
Exactly. And Hyman brought it up too. He hired somebody to shoot him or talk somebody into shooting him, and supposedly it wasn't for money. What motive would that guy have to commit that crime? Out of the goodness of his heart, he was just going to shoot his friend in the head or his cousin in the head. I don't think so. I think there's got to be some sort of motive, and if it's not monetary, it might be because he was in on something else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bad people money.
Right. And I think maybe perhaps, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. What's that?
Weren't they disputing property? Him and his wife?
I believe. What do you mean? Like, I know that I heard rumors that there was supposedly breaking up or splitting up.
Yeah, they were like supposedly they were still together, like living together, but not together.
Right.
And I heard that there was a dispute with some property. I don't know if that could be a motive or even a trigger at that point.
Right. I mean, well, it was the son's boat crash that basically started to bring everything out, right? Yeah. And so that was supposedly the motive for the son. The wife was supposedly leaving him. That's the motive for the wife. But man, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, so let's go back. Let's go back. So you have the Snapchat video, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has a story that kind of, I guess would line up with the Snapchat video where Alex is outside and he's out there with his wife, and that one of the dogs ends up getting a chicken.
Yeah.
And he goes out there to take the chicken out of the dog's mouth. Now, with the two weapons that were described in that scenario, if Murdoch or Alex is the shooter for both victims, so he shot one with the shotgun, one with the rifle.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think in that moment he has those weapons on his person, strapped onto him?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so we would assume that those weapons were in his golf cart.
At least, but it just. But then again, his story changed. Remember, after the Snapchat video came out, so he had time to, rehearse or whatever, or make up a story that's plausible.
Yeah, make up a story that fits the evidence.
Mm-hmm.
But let's look at the evidence and what had occurred.
Do you think maybe he came back? Like he said, he might have left for a second, came back with the weapons because he was angry. Maybe found one, shot him, and then maybe the wife came to check and see what happened, and then he switched guns and shot her with the second gun.
All right. So if he were to switch guns, where would that gun be at?
Maybe, like I said, if he was driving a golf cart, he probably had it in the back. I don't know what he drove.
So then he would have shot Paul, and based on the description of what had occurred, it sounds like he was in close range, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then he would have had to have ran back to his golf cart, switched the guns, and then ran to his wife. What would be the purpose to run to the golf cart to switch the guns?
Yeah, like why if it was just himself, it would just be to make it look like there was two people. To what I mean? That's the only way. But Go ahead.
How many times did you shoot the son?
A few times, right?
Shotgun.
Run out of bullets?
No, I don't think so. But all right, so see, because I'm not too like familiar with this case. I only know like the highlights of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so, what comes to me is, all right, why did he switch the guns? And why would he have two on his person? And that would be that he was going to, what's the word I'm looking for? Try to make it look like there was two people. That was the plan. That was what his intent was going to be from the get go. So he planned everything out, right? Even up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, nobody's seeing him walking up with two guns strapped onto him, like, and saying,
It just varies, man. Like if they use that property for target practice, then I see him carrying multiple guns. To that when we would go to the gun range, everybody would take 2 or 3 guns just to shoot their guns off.
True, but wasn't it like 9 o'clock at night?
Yeah, it was. It was pretty late. Let me know in the live chat, how long after that Snapchat video was taken was the attack supposedly had occurred? I thought I had heard it was just minutes.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't very long. So he's taking off to go get the chicken out of the dog's mouth, right?
Yeah.
So, and then he goes and puts the chicken on something, and then he goes back to his golf cart, pulls out the gun at that point.
Yeah, it had to be. I mean, it was just a short amount of time.
Yeah, 5 minutes. Everybody's saying it's minutes. So.
But I don't think it would be it wouldn't be suspicious because they had a lot of weapons. You know what I mean? They were go shooting and everything like that. So it wouldn't be suspicious to have somewhat a weapon or a rifle in the golf cart.
All right.
Because I think at one point I'm not really sure how they went out to check out property. I'm not sure if they took the truck or the golf cart. I'm not really sure.
Right.
But I'm guessing that, if you go out there, you would like to take a weapon just to maybe shoot out there. I mean, they have so much acres out there.
Right.
Yeah. So it wouldn't be that suspicious if he was carrying a gun in the golf cart.
Yeah.
So the other thing that caught my attention about this case was that day that he spent with his son, and they did all these things and had a beautiful day, right? I don't want to sound cold or mean or anything.
No, go ahead.
But like, what caught my attention was like, man, did this guy do like how when some people go and put down their animal, like it's terminally ill, then they go and take the animal to
like a mercy kill?
Kind of, sort of, yeah. Like, they go and spend time. They take it to their favorite spots where they used to hang out, go do all these things because it's the last time.
Yeah.
I felt I got that kind of vibe from that at first. Did you?
Yeah, dude, I did actually. I thought about it too. I was like, maybe he was just out there. He explained that he was out there with his son, before this happened, and they had a great time. And it does feel like he made it seem like that was probably going to be the end of them together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That was the vibe I got out of that, man. And I was just like, man, this guy, he could be that cold, I mean, he really didn't care about anybody else's family or their lives or anything. I mean, he clearly was, doing some horrible things, which he's not denied. So, because I don't think he can. He's, there's nothing, how can he deny the thefts and things of that nature? And so, You know, perhaps if there was some way of him talking his way out of that, maybe he wouldn't be so, upfront about it. But
What do you think? Like, I've seen some theories that he probably owed some drug dealer or somebody a lot of money, and they had to threaten his family. And what if it was his way of putting him down in a more humane manner by him doing it instead of somebody coming over and torturing them and
I don't know,
burning
man.
them
It
and
don't
cutting them.
sound like it was very humane, to be honest with you.
I mean, yeah, it's not humane, but like, you know the stories that happen in Mexico with people that owe drug lords money. They
Rather
find them
me
hanging.
instead of them, right?
Yeah, it's like you're gonna find them hanging from the bridge. You're gonna find them in pieces in front of your house. You're gonna find them burned. They're gonna torture your life up, and that's
So,
not me joking around. That's the truth. You don't mess with those people.
I
no,
mean,
yeah, man. You don't want that.
I mean, he said that he was taking so many. What was it? What kind of drug was he into?
Oxycontin.
Oxycontin. Yeah, right. Yeah, I heard he was taking
Opiates.
so many, like a phenomenal amount, right? Like
Yeah.
he was spending.
Yeah. He had an issue. Now, in the Snapchat video, he does say, "Oh, Bubba" or whatever, right? Is Bubba not his dog? Is that his son Buster? Is that his nickname for his son?
No, I believe that's a dog.
That's a dog. All right, that's what I thought. I just want to make sure because he has some weird nicknames. You know what I mean for people that he's close to.
Yeah, and like you said last time, like I mean, what we were talking about last time, like when he was using his nicknames while he wasn't on the stand, it was just I don't know. I feel like it was just like I said before. I think he was just trying to get to some at least one juror, one. I mean, you know what I mean, get some sympathy for one of them, and that's all you need.
Man, he's danced around a courtroom for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So he knows all the little tricks and tactics to sway a jury. Yeah, and it's hard to find out what's genuine and what's not. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this: they got his ass on the lying part when they were talking about that prosecutor walked him right into it when they're like, when was the moment that you decided to lie, right? And he was like, oh, it was a numerous of factors. It was this factor, it was that factor, it was this. Yeah. And then they played back the 911 tape where he lied on that, and they're like, this was you lying before. All those factors that you indicated are the reasons why you were lying, and that's before. And all he could say was, I disagree. And so I think he's involved. I think that there's two shooters, and I think that other shooter's possibly the same guy that shot him in the head on the side of the road. That's what I'm thinking. That's my thoughts.
I mean, if he gets off from these charges, the murder charges, I mean, he still has to. He still has the other charges against him, right? About the money, embezzlement, all that stuff, and I think they might have a better case on that right now at this point.
Yeah. And I would agree. GP asks, why would you lie? Do you think that there is a reason? Let's just say, oh, there goes Blue again. Let's just say he is innocent of this charge, right? Why would he lie if he was innocent?
Yeah, exactly. Well, in the beginning of his testimony, he said that he gets paranoid, and that's why he lied. But I don't know, man. I got that. I mean, me personally. I don't know if I would try to give as much information as I could, to find out who did that to my family. But I wouldn't feel paranoid. I wouldn't lie, especially if I knew I wasn't involved.
Here's the thing about his paranoia thing is he also said that when somebody questioned him about the money missing or whatever the case may be, that he was able to talk his way, and that those things didn't cause him paranoia. And I felt like the prosecution got something there. They're like, oh, you get paranoid just because there's a cop behind you. But when you've stolen hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars from somebody, and somebody's questioning you about it, you're calm and cool as a pickle. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Exactly. And especially, like, how can you be paranoid with that kind of job?
Yeah. And I mean, he also had the badge, and he used it, and he said that gave him a certain amount of privilege or favoritism amongst law enforcement. And there's videos of him with it on his pocket, and he's trying to still explain that away. Yeah. If he would have came forward and said, even in that moment, like, I put it there because I was trying to gain some information. Okay. But you can be honest about a couple of things and say you're guilty of this and that, and trying to it's a deflection. That's all it is he's deflecting to some lower end crimes, which are still pretty big, but a lot less serious than what he's accused of here. And he's deflecting it, but he's still lying on certain things. And it's clear that he's still lying on certain things. I think the fact that he says that he still went and took a nap, I don't understand why. It's obvious that's not what he did. There was no time there for him.
Yeah,
so
exactly. I mean, even when I was telling you that he remembers what was on what team was playing that day on the TV, but he couldn't tell. He can't remember if he actually turned around. I mean, he turned the body over or whatnot. He couldn't remember that. I mean, there's just little things like that. It's like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't want to remember because he wants to. If he doesn't have any DNA on him, then he can say he didn't. And if something comes up, then he has a plausible reason as to why.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
But
that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Closing arguments.
It is, man. But you know what? I think it's time. It's Jaime's favorite time. It's
beware. They lurk everywhere. You can't hide. It's time for a little DAC. It's Drunk Turkey Show Dumbass Criminals.
Go ahead.
The main attraction. Hey, okay, let me ask you something, Danny, since you were, in law enforcement before, right? What is the weirdest thing you ever seen after someone gets released from maybe the drunk tank? You know what I mean?
That I've seen after they're released?
Or after they're released, they spend a night in jail for being, drunk, you know what I mean? In public.
Just a couple of jackasses talking smack as they walk out. Nothing crazy. I haven't seen anything crazy when they're being released. They're usually sobered up by then.
Right? They don't do anything that crazy, right?
Right. Normally not.
Well, get this. A 20-year-old college student was booked into Washington jail for underage drinking, right?
Right.
And you know what he did right after he got released?
What'd he do, man? What'd he do?
Well, it was during Christmas, right? Last year. And he stole the presents underneath the Christmas tree from the department, the police department. And he ran away. Like, dude, like, how dumb is that, right, man?
So he stole from the Christmas. That's probably a blue Santa. That's probably, gifts that they give to the less fortunate and things of that nature. So this jackass goes and takes from there.
Yeah, he stole 3. Okay, let me tell you. He stole an empty box. And he sold a box that had all like feminine, like, hygiene stuff, like, body wash and stuff like that. And the other one was like, they had rocks in it because it was just for show at one point. And he got rearrested for it.
Oh man, maybe he liked the food. Big Blue, have you ever stolen gifts while being released from the drunk tank? I think that's a question everybody wants to know. I think you're muted, Blue. Or he fell asleep. One of the
he fell asleep. I think Blue has left presents.
He's left presents when he's walking out of the drunk tank.
Hey, They just need a wet floor sign where I've been.
TMI, man. TMI. So,
yes, I call dinosaurs sometimes. Okay, but I've never been in the drunk tank. I came close to it once.
Well,
once only. Wow.
Well, I guess we can rule out Big Blue as the present bandit. What else you got, Jaime?
Let's just say in Mexico, a $10 bill got me free. So
hey, we don't need to know what you were doing at Boys Town, bro. All right.
Happened one time.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Let me ask you one thing. Do you, because you already know my answer, do you, Danny and Big Blue, do you believe in Bigfoot?
Yeah, I do, yes.
I believe in the mythological creature once existed on this planet.
Ooh.
I don't know about anymore, but at one point did.
Okay, well, Larry Sanders, 53 years old, right? Went fishing with his buddy, right? He went fishing with his buddy. And they were drinking and fishing, and they got into a little argument, and his buddy threatened him by summoning Bigfoot to kill him. So what did Larry do? He strangled his friend and killed him.
So wait.
There's two things that I'm thinking about. Like, okay, first, does he believe that Bigfoot is real? Right, obviously, or does he believe that he can actually get summoned of Bigfoot?
Well, my first question is how would one summon Bigfoot? Is it probably
big shoes, maybe
a mating call?
Yeah.
All right, Big Blue. Let's hear your best Bigfoot mating call impression.
Oh man, I don't know. I think Bigfoot.
He takes off his shirt.
Rawr, I don't know.
Rawr. You're gonna end up in the back of somebody's car doing that outside. So, Jaime, let's hear your Bigfoot impression.
I already did it. I go, whoop. I think that's what they do. I'm pretty sure.
Oh man, if we don't find Jaime tomorrow, we know what happened. Happened.
Yeah, we're gonna get Doc Skinner around here. So he can make up a good impression.
So this guy was afraid that Bigfoot was about to be summoned, so he killed his buddy.
Yeah, like Beetlejuice. I guess he said him 3 times. Bigfoot, and then he just showed up. I guess he was on his second one, and he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna take him out before he tests the third one."
Hey, Blue, they want you to do the Chewbacca yell. You know how to do it, man. Remember when you said agua fresca? Just do that.
Say horchata, but like in sexy tone.
Yeah, do your sexy voice, Blue. Do your sexy voice. Everybody's wanting to hear.
I'll do it next time. I have to practice. I can't get I've tried it before, man. I tried it and I can't get it. My voice cracks. I get really
We've heard your voice crack, Blue. It's okay.
Five beers and we'll get them to do it.
5 beers. You have any more, Jaime?
I believe I have one more. I'm not really sure. I don't even remember, to tell you the truth. Let me see. Okay. Let me see. Okay. When you think of a robbery, do you ever say, you know what, I'm gonna leave an IOU behind just in case? No.
I mean, the only time I've ever seen that happen was in Dumb and Dumber.
Okay. Right.
Christmas.
Blue,
yeah.
What about you, Blue? You ever heard of that?
No.
Oh, well, you'll be surprised to hear this. A 21-year-old named Lance Kurtz from Florida, of course, right? That doesn't. I don't know why that doesn't surprise me. I don't know. He broke into a gas station, took items. He was a nice dude. He left his debit card there just in case. Because the store was closed, he left the debit card there and said he'll pay for it later. He got arrested for breaking and entering when he went back to get his debit card.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you left your card with permission to use it.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's cool, right? Take the items, pay for it, right? Whenever he gets there, okay. But he broke into the gas station because it was closed. I mean, that's B&E.
Well, it depends. Like, I mean, with the door locked, did he break some glass?
No, he broke the glass for the door. It went in.
Oh man,
he probably needs some toilet paper, I think.
Yeah, you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. Big Blue thinks that it's justifiable just for the alcohol alone.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Man, so Big Blue, when are you not drinking this week? I mean, when are you going to be drinking this week for us? Everybody wants to know in the live chat. You're muted, by the way. You're still muted. You got to talk after you hit the mute button.
I know, but I don't know how I got muted. I never pressed the button.
Oh no, either. So when are you going to be drinking with us this week?
I'm off Wednesday, but that's my daughter's birthday, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it Wednesday.
Oh, that's right. What about Friday? You're going to be working Friday?
I think I'm working Friday, but Thursday I'm off, and I don't know what day I want to do that show, but I might jump on Wednesday. I drank a lot on Saturday. I'll tell you that much. I went downtown and had an adventure running down through downtown.
You know what? For the members only, and this is a shameless plug for the membership. Please go join this. Big Blue, when he does drink, he is going to do his Bigfoot call and put it on the members only.
Shirtless.
I would. Well, we don't want to get this bad. No offense, Blue, but we don't want to get this bad.
Right.
So check out the members. Wednesday, we're going to be talking about the cell towers. We have finally got in touch with El Guapo 42. He's also a member of the Drunk Turkey Show. He's going to be coming on. He's done some maps for the Moscow Pullman area.
Mm-hmm.
And those maps detail cell tower coverage areas. So we'll be able to see in which areas had better areas for triangulation, coverage. Perhaps maybe could explain why some of the times or on some of the trips that Bryan Kohberger was on that why his his service went in and out. But yeah, hold on, I gotta take care of something real quick.
I just want to say one more thing before I jump off, guys. I gotta get ready for work. I just want to say my thoughts and prayers go out to the family of Mr. Alex Cervantes, Detective Alex Cervantes. He was the U.S. police officer that was off duty, taking his family. I guess they were going to a store, and it was the middle of the day, and the drunk driver went cross lanes and hit them, and he passed away. And the drunk driver got out, and then he tried to take off running, and a good Samaritan stopped them.
Yeah.
So my thoughts and prayers go out to that family. It's a pretty sad story that came out, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Drink, get an Uber, guys. I don't even think he was that far from his home.
Dude, and in that situation, they arrested the bartender too. But in that situation, he had actually hit another vehicle first, and yeah, he hit a vehicle, and he was fleeing from hitting that vehicle, which is why he was driving, speeding supposedly. He was fleeing. He was doing a hit and run, and then got into that horrific accident. But
that's sad.
It is, man. It really is. But Wednesday we'll be back. We're going to be talking about the cell phone towers, and we're going to be getting off here too, Blue. But we'll see you here in a minute. And then on Friday we'll be having another live show, and then a members only afterwards. So please hit that join button. If you don't see the join button, you're part of the Apple crew. Link is in the description as to how to become a member. But with that said, do you have any final words, Hyman?
No, man. Just want to say thanks again to the people in chat. Super the ones who donated, super stickers and all that. I want to say thanks, and tune in Wednesday and Friday. We'll be here.
Yeah, we'll be here. And check us out. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. That way you get notified of all of our weekly lives. We also do daily, breaking news segments every now and then. You don't want to miss it. That said, we're the Drunk Turkey Show. We'll see you next time.